At the end of the last video, I said that we were going to start doing a VLOOKUP to pull in our payroll data and ranks into our summary page in historical standings. But I just wanted to take a minute to go over filters because we're getting to some advanced formulas and it's important that we know some basics first. Filters are an easy and convenient application that Excel has for us. So to apply filters, and I'll show you what happens in a second, you hit Alt-HSF, and let's just highlight so that we get the filters across the top row. Now hitting Alt-HSF, we hit the say we want all Los Angeles Dodgers payroll data. We can hit Alt down in the cell where the team is, year. We hit Alt arrow down and we'll just type in Dodgers, and you can see we've filtered on all Dodgers for all of the years that we have. Now in column D we have our payroll ranks. Now say we want to see all of the years in which the Dodgers were ranked number 1. We will hit Alt arrow down in the cell where the filter is, and we will uncheck by clicking select all and then recheck 1, and we can see that 2014 is the only year in the past 10 when the Dodgers have been ranked number 1. There are other types of filters, and in order to clear all of your filters, you hit Alt-HSC. There are other types of filters. Say we want to look at all payroll data, all payrolls for teams whose payrolls are above 150 million. You hit Alt arrow down, then go to number filters, and we want greater than, let's do greater than 200 million, so we just write in 200 million. You can see these are the teams with payrolls in excess of $200 million, and you can apply all sorts of filters. You can use text filters, you can have lots of conditional filters that allow you to examine certain data based on a variety of conditions. Now let's continue making our table by pulling in payroll and payroll rank to our historical standings sheet, so that way we can manipulate the data all at once we have everything in the same tab. Now I lied in the other video and said that we were going to use a VLOOKUP to get payroll and payroll rank into this tab. We're going to need a formula that's a little more involved than a VLOOKUP. A VLOOKUP has certain limitations that this manipulation requires us to do, and we won't be able to use a VLOOKUP. What we're going to do is use what's called an index match. An index match is like a VLOOKUP, except it allows you to look up using more criteria, and the data that you are referencing does not have to be to the right of the initial column that you start from, as you would with a VLOOKUP. So let's go through the index match. So say, for example, and we're not going to use, let's use baseball data. I don't know these numbers. I'm just pulling them off the top of my head. They're not necessarily true. Say we have 2014, 2013, 2012. And we have Miguel Cabrera, Derek Jeter, David, Wright, and Robinson Cano. And we want to get batting average. So we have position, third base, second base, Jeter's shortstop, and Cabrera. Cabrera is at third base. And say we have batting average, fictional batting averages here. We have 320, 250, 300, and 310. And let's get these decimal points out one more digit. Okay. Say we want to know, we want to know what Derek Jeter's batting average was in 2014. So we will use what's known as the index formula. And the index formula says, so we write equals index. And we pick an array. An array is just a range of data. For this instance, an array is a range of data. The array is, for right now, an array of data. And we'll say our array is from cells C2 to D5, comma. And the row number in the array where Jeter's batting average lies is the second row of the array, so we're going to write 2 for second row, and column number is second column, 2. And our formula will return 250. And I will show you the trace precedence. So if you go to formulas, trace precedence, you can see that the precedence are the originating cell is C2, and the range that this formula is referencing is C2 to D5. We're going to remove arrows. Now, the next thing is, say we had a longer list of batters, and we needed to use a reference point to find David Wright's average in 2013, for example. So I'm going to put David Wright's name right here. And I'm going to use a formula that uses both the index function, as we just saw before, and the match function. So what happens now is, rather than, let's start with our index, equals index. So our index is going to be the same range of data. Or rather, in this case, we know we want average. So we're only going to make our index our average column, our average column. And the formula, the index formula, doesn't require that you use both a column number and a row number. If you have one column of data, you only need to specify which row you want to reference. And in this case, we're going to reference the row that has David Wright's name, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So you're going to hit equals index. That's your range. And rather than writing row number, we're going to use the match formula. So we're going to write in comma match, and our lookup value, not unlike a VLOOKUP, is going to be the value in cell B8. So we're going to say look for David Wright in lookup array in the player name array, comma, and match type, we want an exact match. 0. Then we close our parentheses, hit enter, and as you can see, we have David Wright's batting average in 2013, fictional batting average, which is 300. So that is the case in which we replace the row criteria with the match function. Now the next thing we can do is replace both the row and the column functions, and that's the index double match. So instead of your array being your index being one column, your index spans multiple columns and multiple rows, and your match reference points end up being row references and column references, and I will explain what I mean right now. So let's, just for example's sake, we'll put David Wright's name over here and say, so we need reference points. Say we want to return David Wright's position and his batting average. So we're going to hit index, and now our index is going to be C2 to D5. And because we're going to be carrying our formula from H9 into I9, we're going to lock our range. So that way our references don't change. Comma, and then this part of the formula is the same, except we're going to lock our column reference, so that way we can carry the formula over, and we're going to lock column G, and then we're going to look at the names in column B, and we're going to lock that too. And our match, sorry, I forgot to write in match, comma match, open parentheses, comma 0. And now our next match will determine the column number, so we write in match again, and we look at position and average, and you'll see what happens here, comma, lookup array, and our lookup array is going to be position and average in our data source, which is the cells on top of the index. So we're going to click here, that's our lookup array, and we're going to lock that array, comma 0 exact match, close parentheses. And you can see, so first we fill the position, and then we hit Control R to carry our formula over. And let's format this correctly. Let's copy the formats actually. So we're just going to hit Control C, and you can copy formats by hitting Alt ES T. Now we can see our decimal places go out to the thousands place. So that's the index double match, and I'll keep that there for your reference. Let's copy our range down so we have another data set to work with. So this formula gets slightly more complicated now, and we will go over that in the next video.